Hi everybody, I'm Lucy and I wanted to do a short video today to share my thoughts with you on flipping houses. So what is a flip project? What does it look like? How can I get that done? And how difficult really is it to flip a house? So there's commonly two types of purchases that investors might talk about, which is buy and hold or buy and sell. So buy and hold are your rental properties, buy-to-lets, HMOs, properties that you're not really looking to sell, that you're holding on to and you're generating cash flow. Now a flip is buy and sell. So how do I find a flip project? Why would I bother flipping a house? What's the whole point of it? So for us and for most property investors, it's to generate lump sums of money. So it's up to you to decide what you think is worthwhile, you know, the time and the energy that goes into the purchase and the refurb and how much you're going to make at the other end. You have to know your numbers really, really well from the start to know exactly what your projected profit is going to be on the deal. So there may be some instances where you buy a property and it actually doesn't need much work to it. So for example, the property is worth £100,000 done up, but you've managed to secure it for 70 and it's already done up. That happens very rarely, but it does happen, and that's a no-brainer. So immediately you purchase it at that price or less if you can get a cheekier offer in, and you are going to sell it for 100 and you don't have to do anything to it. That's a nice chunk of money that you've made from doing very little. That still counts as a flip, even though you're not doing a full refurbishment on the house. You're buying it and you're selling it on and you're making a profit. The more common scenario is to buy a house, it's in bad condition and need of work. So smelly, run down, damp, needs work doing to it, probably a full rewire, windows, etc. It's in a bad condition, and that should be reflected in the price, and that's where your bargaining comes in. So we recommend, when you're doing your viewings for flip projects, either at the time or afterwards, to go through with your builder, take your builder through the property. And you can do this for your buy-to-lets as well, of course, or any investment you make. Take a builder or somebody who knows what they're doing around with you to spot the things that are going to need the refurbishment and need works. And then you can go away, you can quote for that with your builder, and you can work out the estimated works that need to be done on the property and how much that will cost. And then you can use that when you're speaking to the vendor or the estate agent to really negotiate on the price. And it makes you come across as a professional property investor, which you might be, which we are, and it gains credibility. So you've gone around with your builder, you're serious about this property, you want to buy it. However, these are the works that need doing to the property, therefore this is my offer. For us to make any kind of, for there to be any margin or profit to be made, this is my offer. So that's usually how flips start out. They do need a lot of work, and you are going to do them up hopefully to a high standard, and you make your money when you sell. The end buyer of your flip project will typically be an owner-occupier, so a first-time buyer, a family, or somebody who it's their second or third home, or maybe some elderly residents if it's a bungalow, for example. And the reason for this is flips usually require, as we just said, lots of work. It's too much work for somebody who's probably not a property investor. It's time, it's money, and it's just not everybody's area of expertise. So that's where you have the upper hand when discussing flip projects with vendors or estate agents. You have your build team in place and you're ready to do the works. So you're getting it done to a really nice standard, and then somebody who is probably a first-time buyer or family will be purchasing that home from you. And they're probably not going to be property investors, else they'd see the value and probably do it themselves. The key mistake that property investors often make in flips, where they either lose money or just break even, would be that they purchase the property for too much in the first place. And this is where everything that we've sort of been practicing over the last couple of years and have been taught our trainings is to validate your offer when you're placing your lower offer. So it's what the value of the house is at that point in time when you're looking at it and looking like, whoa, this needs 50k worth of work, therefore my offer is this low. So don't make that mistake. Don't be afraid to place a low offer. You've done your calculations, you know what you're talking about, you've checked sold comparables in the area, you've spoken to local estate agents about the resale value of the property in 6 months time once you've done your refurb and you're ready to sell. So get your numbers in order, get a really strong watertight quote on your on the building works and building contingency as well, as you would do with a rental property. But make sure you take a build around and any other tradesmen who needs to come in and have a look, get the full quote. Obviously there will be things that crop up as you go around. There'll also be things once you start the refurb that you decide don't need doing, or you don't want to spend your money in that certain room or that area, and that's okay. So hopefully it all balances out. But if you can get a real grip on your quote for the building works at the offer stage and at the very early stages of speaking with the vendor or the estate agent, you're really setting yourself up for more success at the end when you come to sell the property. like any investment property, you really have to consider the demand. So if I purchase this house and I refurbish it, who is going to buy it? Is it near a school? Is it near shops? Is it near the university? Is it families? Do I need, if I haven't got a driveway, is that something I need to consider? Do I need to sort the garden out? Is there off-road parking? All of these things you need to know. Like with any investment property, you know, that you're dealing with, you need to know the demand. So for this, it's the demand on the other side. Once you're coming to sell it, who is going to buy it? Who is going to be moving in? And how do I make this meet their needs? And you need to do all of this before you offer and purchase the property. And then once you're moving along with your offer and you're starting on the works, again, you need to find out, what do families or first time buyers in this area want? And speak to local estate agents and letting agents and really get a grip on it. So if the answer from everybody is grey tones, grey carpet, or wood flooring, or, you know, ceiling, floor to ceiling tiles in the bathroom, in the kitchen, do that within your budget, but do what the local estate agents and the local people are saying that the demographics in the area is demanding. Don't then go and do red and cream and something that you might like or that, you know, floats your boat, but it's actually not what people in the area are looking for. And the same goes when you think about extensions, for example, 1-story extensions, 2 stories, dormers. Just because you can doesn't mean that you should or that you have to. If you can see in the road and roads, you know, parallel roads and roads nearby, that nobody's done that and there's no demand and it's actually not what people want, then there's no need to do that. Unless you're adding a considerable amount of value to the property and it's worth this money you're going to spend, maybe it's not such a good idea. And the same goes for bungalows. You know, if elderly people, you're not going to go up and create an extension upstairs. If your market is elderly people who are downsizing and can't walk very well and their mobility is limited. So think about all these things before you make any decisions on what you're going to do with the property. So those are some top tips with regards to flipping and the process. We've done it a number of times and we've learned a lot each time. And yeah, that's sort of flipping in a nutshell. You're buying a property, you're adding value and you're selling it on. And there's lots of money to be made in the flipping business.